I want to go back in time a bit to your days as the 76ers GM, 1974 to 86. You brought Dr. J to Philly. The team got to the finals 3 times, came up short before winning it all in 83 once Moses Malone joined Dr. J, Andrew Toney, Mo Cheeks and company, including new Hall of Famer Bobby Jones. He was part of the team too, certainly. How much fun was that 82-83 season and postseason for you, Pat?
Well, it was a lot of fun. We went into that training camp with a absolute mission. You know, we'd come up short a number of times. 77 we came up short, 80 got to the finals, 82 again, couldn't get over the hump. And of course that summer, the arrival of Moses. So there was great optimism. We went into that season, and if there's ever such a thing as a perfect season in the NBA, that was probably it. No major injuries, no losing streaks, very few close games. You know, we were crushing teams by big margins. Players all got along, and they all had one mission in mind, and that was to erase the stigma, you know, of those finals losses and some of the other playoff losses. And you recall Moses, you know, in his famous statement, "Fo, fo, fo," you know, we'll never quite know when he said it or who he said it to, but he definitely said it, setting the stage that the Sixers were going to be an awfully tough team to beat, and they were. City of Philadelphia exploded with joy. And that's one thing about Philly, boy, they know how to celebrate their titles. haven't had all that many, but when they hit, oh boy, the city erupts. And we'll never forget that finals with the Lakers in '83 and the tremendous joy, you know, that pervaded the Delaware Valley and the fun we had. It was a beautiful time.
Hey, Pat, can you take us back to that time a little bit? And as the brain trust is sitting in the office and you know you've got to get this one guy to get over the hump, how does the conversation take place that, hey, Moses Malone is our guy and how are we going to get him? And what's the celebration like in that front office when you actually do get him? How does that all take place?
Well, I wish I could tell you it was a very well laid out experience and everything went by like clockwork. That's not the case. I had gone on a tour to mainland China, you know, in August of that year. Julius Erving was on that trip as well. While I was gone, the Sixers sold and dealt Darryl Dawkins to the Nets, and suddenly there was a moment. We don't have a center. We don't have a center. What's it going to take to get Moses? Well, Moses was out there as a free agent, but everybody knew the price tag was going to be absolutely a strangler. But Harold Katz, the owner, said, let's go find out. Let's pursue it. And so they tracked down Lee Fentress, who was Moses' representative, found out what the price tag was. $13 million package for 5 years. Strangling number.
Yeah, back
today that would pay the ball boys. So Moses came to Philly, and Billy Cunningham wanted to meet with him and find out how Moses felt and how he was going to work with Dr. J, and that satisfied Billy. Moses simply said, this talks team. I'm here to help Doc get a title. Billy felt good about that. But there was one other hurdle, and that was, back in those days, you had to compensate the team that lost the player. And if you couldn't work that out, then the commissioner would make the decision. So we presented to Houston a package of Caldwell Jones and a future first. Hated to give up Caldwell. Everybody was sick, including Moses, who said, I'm not going to sign. But part of the reason I came here is to play with Caldwell.
Huh.
And there we sat. Well, I called Harold Katz up at his office. I said, Harold, you need to get down here immediately and sit in a meeting here because we got a problem. Moses doesn't want to sign, and because he doesn't want to lose Caldwell. Well, Harold came down, and explained to Moses that the whole thing would go kaput if he didn't agree. And so finally we got him calmed down and made the announcement. Well, it was a big deal. And across the sports world, it was just flabbergasting. $13 million for one player in a contract? Oh, nobody could believe it. And the sense was that the sports world has gone absolutely insane. Well, anyway, Moses was terrific, as we all remember. You know, he was absolutely superb. Played every game, hard-nosed, brought his lunch pail every night, banging the boards and scoring when he needed to, and he was something. He was right then, at that point, right in his heyday. So we all know the outcome. Swept the Knicks, lost one to Milwaukee in round 2. People forget how good the Bucks were. And then came the Lakers, and we took them out in 4. Oh, that was a joyous time.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Pat, we're going to jump around all over the place here. I want to ask you, what did it mean to you to go into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012 as the John Bunn Lifetime Achievement Award recipient?
Well, that was a great honor. John Bunn was a legendary coach, and that award was for long-time service, contributions to the game of basketball. I felt very humbled when you look at that list of people that have received that honor in the past. I just had a hard time trying to slot my name in there. But I did feel very humbled, and it was a great honor for me. I still rejoice over that they thought that highly of me to present that prestigious award to me.
Hey, Pat, I wanted to ask you, in the 1984 NBA draft with the fifth pick, you guys took a guy named the Round Mound of Rebound. And I understand there's a story who later became Sir Charles to most, that Charles Barkley showed up somewhere in the 290-pound range, and you guys had a meeting with him, told him he had to lose weight, and he came back and he weighed 290 pounds. Is that a true story, and how did that play out?
Well, it was. That was a very, very significant draft. We all know that Olajuwon was coming and Michael Jordan was coming. It was going to be a special draft. We're picking 5. There was this unique player down at Auburn. Jack McMahon, our scout, had seen him. I once asked Jack, I said, Jack, how do you describe him? And he said, a ball-handling Wesley Unseld.
Wow.
If you can picture that.
Yeah.
And Charles came in, well before the draft. We were concerned about his weight. 292 pounds. And he was Charles was about 6'4", maybe 6'4 and a half, with thick sneakers, maybe 6'5". And we knew his skills, but we said, Charles, we're concerned about this weight. And son, you've got to get in shape. And he said, Mr. Williams, don't you know that round is a shape? And I said, Charles, listen, we've got about 6 weeks before the draft. I want you to go down to Auburn, back home, back to school, and start eating from the 7 major food groups. And he called me about a month later. He said, Mr. Williams, there are only 2 left. So anyway, we said, Charles, on your way to the draft, you've got to come back through here. So we checked his weight again, 292. I guess we should have been. I guess we should have been encouraged that he hadn't gotten heavier. So on the night of the draft, it went Olajuwon, Sam Bowie, Jordan, Sam Perkins, and there he was. We took him in all his glory. Well, he came to summer camp up at Princeton without a contract, and he was terrific. That summer, that week in Princeton, he was terrific. We felt good that we really had a great talent. And as it turns out, the weight with Charles was never an issue. He spent most of his career playing in the, 250 to 260 range. And boy, could he do things on a basketball court that we've never seen before, maybe since.
Mm-hmm.
You know, up on the board, he could leap. He had great hands. He could dribble the ball. He could bring it up court. He'd pass it brilliantly, dunk it. He was not a great outside shooter. Now today, you know, they'd probably have him firing threes out there. But he was multi-talented. There was nothing really that he couldn't do. Oh, he was something.